I've worked at House of Tricks for probably about 2.5 years now. Started as a prep cook before COVID hit and worked my way up to one of the lunch line cook positions before the pandemic hit.
My stage was on Valentine's Day of 2017, so it always made my anniversary very romantic here.
I moved down here from Iowa and just kind of had a list of 3 or 4 places that I wanted to check out and apply to, hope they were hiring, and this was the first place that I stopped and they were hiring, so I got really lucky, I guess.
I applied here because I had a friend who was, we were working in a kitchen together. He was saving up to open his own restaurant, and he kind of pointed me in this direction. I'd never been to culinary school or anything, and I was really hungry to learn. I was working at a place where it was really assembly line cooking, just like make a panini, press it here, send it. I wasn't learning anything. He said, if you want to learn something, you go to House of Tricks, probably your best bet.
I like the variety of food that we get to see, whether it's through Chef Scott's specials or just the constant menu changes that we see and all that stuff. And just me being at the point in my life that I am right now, I just want to learn as much as I can and see as much as I can. And I feel like this was a great place to do that just because of the wide variety of food that we do.
Generally, I love the first few hours of a day where we're listening to music and having a good time, and then once the orders start coming in, it's time to crack down. Everybody gets to work. We get through it, for better or worse, and after that, we finish the day. It's time to clean up, and music goes back on, and we're all having a good time. We all feel like we did a good job at the end of the day.
One of the things that I've noticed that I don't know how true it is since I haven't worked at a lot of places, but I feel like we do a really high quality food for the quantity of people that we serve. Like the volume of people that we serve, I feel like you don't expect as fine dining dishes that we put out.
In other restaurants that I've worked in, it's never been this hands-on. It's a scratch kitchen, so everything's made in-house practically. So every day or every time we do a new menu, there's always something different I'm learning. So for instance, one time we had a salad, I had to make an almond brittle for that. I've never done that before. The care and the creativity that goes into every dish that we make is really impressive, and I think that sets us apart from everything else. I remember my first shift here, my stage, got off to a pretty rocky start, and it's a funny story. I arrived, and the first thing I had to do was I got handed this big paddle and ham bones. The chef Scott asked me to start mashing some of these potatoes, and he threw some cream and butter in there, and I just plunged it right in, and I splashed cream all over the guy who was working the poor guy who was working the saute and the fish at the time. And that was funny. And then after that, it was just got the first hiccup out of the way, and it was smooth sailing after that.
The salmon dish that we had last year was one of my favorites. It was like a paprika spiced grilled with chimichurri yogurt sauce, fried Brussels sprouts, and herb roasted potatoes. I think that was one of the favorites that I'd seen. The shank has always been a staple on our menu, and it's always delicious. Can't deny that. And then one of the duck dishes that we had last year as well, I think was my favorite. I think it went with the goat cheese grits and it was a fake glaze, apple fake glaze, I think was what was on it. If I remember right.
That sounds so good.
I mostly worked in the pantry, so it's a lot of salads and starter plates, but I always enjoyed making the charcuterie. Very recently, I started playing around with it a little bit, and I make these cute little roses with the sopressata and whatever meat we have on there. And I always like something I get to play with and kind of express myself a little bit. I always wanted to pursue the arts. And just after cooking for years and years, I found that this was kind of a way I could do that and express myself and get creative and make cool looking things. So anything that I can make like fun designs with or plate something in a way that's really eye-catching. It's something I've always enjoyed doing.
When I first started here, I was a prep cook and a line cook, and worked my way up to a sous chef position. Just recently got that within this past year, and now when I move on, it's going to be hopefully another sous chef position, or continue on moving up the ladder throughout the kitchen hierarchy.
Going forward, it's such a funny thought. I mean, there's people who have been here for a decade, and I always felt like I'd be in it, for the long haul too. So it's a little bit of a shock to have this kind of come to an abrupt end, but I am looking forward to the future, and I feel like I learned a lot about time management and patience, and just making sure that I can put care into everything that I do, and the courage that I can do a lot of the things I didn't think I could do before.
Nothing's official. I'm kind of just going with the flow. Might move on to a new city and a new experience altogether, or might stick around here for a bit longer. I'm still not sure yet.
The next step, I mean, I'm definitely looking for something long-term, career-oriented. I'd like maybe another scratch, family-run kitchen like this, but I mean, it's not exactly a dime a dozen. They really caught lightning in a bottle here, But yeah, definitely something more career-oriented. I mean, for the next step, I believe that this place helped me realize my worth, and I think going forward, I can ask for, what I'm really worth. So, not exactly sure yet, but I'm excited.
Probably the people. I don't know, it's just been a fun group of people to work with and be around, and this place has almost become like a second home to me. So it's been, yeah, I think wherever I move on, it'll just be another kitchen to work in, but here I definitely think I got very close to a lot of the people that worked here. This place was just a great learning experience for me, getting to see, I mentioned like the variety of food that we got to see, but also just understanding how a restaurant operates and starting to see all the other side of the whole business, like the business side of running a restaurant and all that stuff, which is definitely something that I've wanted to learn for a while too, in case I can ever open up my own place and just start my own thing. But yeah, just everything I've learned here.
The thing I'll miss most about here, besides my best friends, the cats that hang out around here, obviously I'm gonna miss working for my chef. He was a very good role model for me throughout my years. I'm gonna miss the comfort of knowing that I belong here and that I'm welcome here, and just how good I feel. It's like, really, honestly, I'm just gonna miss it all. It was a very, very important place for me for a long time. I had a lot of experiences here. I lost a grandmother and a father in the time that I spent here, and this was kind of a place that was a rock for me. Something that I knew no matter what was changing around me, this would always kind of stay constant. I quit drinking in the process of while I was working here, and while that was, this place wasn't responsible for that completely. I had other things going on in my life, but I like to think that a part of that decision to make myself better was to just improve my performance here and my standing, and just to be a better person. I just wish I'd learned about this place much sooner. I mean, I didn't even know this place existed. It's such a well-kept kind of secret tucked in here in the middle of downtown. I'm sure I passed by it a dozen times and never glanced at it a second time. If only I'd gotten here so much earlier in my career, I think there's only so much more growth I could have gone through, but I'm thankful for what I got while I was here, and very happy and looking forward to the future with a lot of hope, and thankful for everything that this place has given to me.